Welcome back, everybody. A new survey finds that CEO economic confidence is down once again. That is for those who are running companies in the United States. But for CEOs in Europe and Asia, there's actually a slight increase in confidence. The survey, conducted by the Young Presidents Organization, shows the confidence level hitting its lowest level since 2011. Dave Maney is founder and CEO of Deek Digital. Dave, welcome. Good to have you with us. Let's start by just sort of getting you to recap the findings of the survey. Who did you survey? How many of them were they? And tell me about the split between U.S. and U.S. CEOs not in the U.S.
We have 23,000 members around the world in YPO, Young Presidents Organization, and its alumni organization. And we ask ourselves once a quarter, kind of in a very simple way, what's your sentiment? How's your business? Are you hiring people? Do you think sales are going to be up? Do you think they're going to be down? This is the closest thing there is to a gut level economic indicator of growing companies and their CEOs. So not that many giant public guys, mostly private. And so you get a real picture of kind of how people who are making the decisions, the growth decisions around the world economy, how they're feeling.
And are more of the U.S. CEOs less confident than they have been? Describe the lack of confidence in the U.S. and contrast it with the relative seeming confidence in Europe and Asia.
Yeah, well, what you're seeing is, in my opinion, having looked at the data, it looks to me like the resource-intensive and the developing economy CEOs are kind of the most bummed out. The two most pessimistic regions that we have are Africa, which of course is very resource-driven, and Canada, believe it or not, where all kind of seems to be gloom and doom at the moment, and the Canadian dollar's awful, and oil is, completely on its butt. What you see in the other CEOs is, Western Europe in particular looks like they're growing in confidence. Maybe that's, some reaction to what they perceive to be the changing fortune of the EU. And it could be that the Asian CEOs are just kind of seeing a little bit over the horizon where they kind of saw this coming and were feeling so badly about it before that there's just some recovery. But overall, by the way, that index is as low as it's been since 2011.
Apart from cheering the Broncos in your town of Denver there, how's your confidence? How's your business?
Well, we're good. It's an interesting time to be an innovator, right? When things are not going that well, when markets are a little bit on their behind, it's not a bad time if you can get the capital you need to grow. It's actually a phenomenal time to start a company. The problem, of course, is you got to cross that. Either you better be in something that doesn't require a lot of capital, or you're going to have to pay very dearly for it. But if you can get it, it's a great moment in time.
Dave, what do I do with the results of the survey? Does it track? Is it a predictor of some sort when it comes to business spending or other metrics out there?
I think I like to think that the YPO crew is a leading indicator because, what you'll get from we are in a world of public company battleships. We are the speedboats. We're companies that, YPO qualifies members with companies that start at $10 million in revenue, and the largest are multi-billion-dollar corporations. But you're going to see, in the curve of distribution of size, it's around, the small to probably $10 to $200 million in revenue. So you get a much purer picture. We have to make decisions with our guts. We have to be more nimble. So I tend to think when you see those guys in China turning up, they're probably reacting a little bit faster than the Chinese government.
If you were to strip out some of the soft spots, I mean, now this is obviously playing with statistics here, but if you took out the resource-oriented CEOs in Africa, and I'm going to assume that some of the negative sentiment in Canada has something to do with the currency, certainly, but it also probably has something to do with the energy business in Canada. If you were to take those things away, how different would the picture look?
It would look a little different, although sometimes I do wonder. I mean, what I find is smaller company American CEOs, while they love learning more about international stuff, you'd still find that we're doing a lot of business here domestically. And I can't tell whether we're we're shock absorbed and haven't quite felt it, or whether we're just feeling those foreshocks and ignoring it. It's probably one or the other.
Dave, thank you very much. Dave Maney, CEO of Deek Digital.